Hello and welcome to Cornish Walking Trails. This is part 4 of our coast to coast walk from the north coast to the south. So in part 4 we'll be going from the Poldice Valley all the way down to Devoran. There was a quay at Devoran exporting and importing goods. The Redruth and Chasewater Railway line used to run down there, and that is now the trail. So let's go! So it's the second day that we're covering this story of the coast to coast trail. We're hoping to come back this afternoon, hoping it'll be a bit brighter this afternoon, aren't we?
Cornish sunshine.
Our sea fog has turned into light misty rain. Wonderful. But we're going to make it down to Devoran, come back to the valley this afternoon. If you've already watched part 3, you'll know if we get some sunshine. So if you haven't watched part 3, all the old mine workings are up there. In front of me is a capped shaft. So it would have been a mine shaft going deep underground. And there's all the waste, known locally as the sands. So what do you reckon to those great piles of sand?
Should have brought my bucket and spade.
I wouldn't recommend that. There is arsenic contamination in them.
Is that not good?
Yeah, that's why they don't grow any plants. Poisonous. So we're now leaving the Poldice Valley at Pool. Our walk has been very easy, considering it's a cycle path. There's been no stiles, has there?
No, we haven't seen a single stile of it. It's been completely flat. It's been really, really easy to walk along. So we did 6 miles yesterday.
Yes.
It's a 12-mile total stretch, isn't it?
I think we might have done a bit more by going back to the car.
It felt longer yesterday.
Yeah.
But if the remaining 6 miles are anything like we had yesterday, it should be nice and easy.
So there's a mine shaft there. And up the hill in the trees is a chimney. Is that Wheel Henry?
I think it is Wheel Henry. I can't quite remember all of them, but there is a Wheel Henry here.
We didn't bring the map because we were worried it'd get wet, didn't we? We'll have to look up in the car. There's a Wheel Andrew here as well.
Hello!
Behind us is the Poldice Valley, and now we're in lush green farmland. The valley floor is very, very boggy. I wonder if that's all the silt built up over years and years of draining. We're heading down that way towards the coast. From Portreath to Scoria is an incline, and that follows the old tram road. After Scoria you start slowly going back downhill, don't you?
Yeah.
Makes it so much easier, doesn't it?
Well, it's hardly noticeable though, is it?
I know. Are you admiring the Carnon River?
I am. I remember coming down here many, many, many years ago as a kid.
Yeah.
This used to run red, didn't it?
I think there's a picture in the book. We'll have to dig it out.
Can I have a little look at the mine shaft?
Yeah, let's go and investigate. What can you see?
Hello! Hello! It's an echo. So a mine shaft is basically just a great big hole in the ground.
So the shaft would be vertical so that the engine could get the water up and down, and there would be little tunnels off at all sorts of angles following
The vein
of copper and
copper
tin.
and tin, yeah. And there's some of them go down for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet.
As tall as Snowdonia, but in the ground.
Yeah.
This one's now capped, so you can't fall into it. Usually when they've got a cowl like this on, it would suggest there's some colony of bats in there, wouldn't it? It allows them to fly in and out.
Yeah. So around about 30 years ago, there was quite a programme in Cornwall of actually finding the mine shafts and capping them and making them safe. And that's carried on to modern day, isn't it, to make sure it's safe for everybody. Where is he? He must be invisible. Invisible!
Okay, so we've got to the point at Hale Mills where the Redruth Chasewater line meets the Portreath tram road. So we've reached 12 heads. In our book it says it's really obvious why it's called 12 heads.
Why is it called 12 heads, sir?
Well, we were having a bit of a chat about this, and I don't know, perhaps it's because there's 12 headgears over mines. Little coffee shop there, look.
Yeah.
He won't drink, but he thinks he's going in.
What's an ice cream?
And we're now here at 12 Heads. And it's another 3.5 miles to Devoran.
Cool. Some lilac. Giving off the most fantastic smell. So we're heading that way.
So we're having a quick look around. I can't see 12. There's one behind me.
Maybe, yeah, one.
Yeah, it's pretty
engine chimney stack.
winding house.
I
and
can't see 12.
No, but then, you know us Cornish, when we'd finished with one, we dismantled the headgear and the shaft and moved it on to the next one.
Ultimate recycling.
Yeah, and just left a hole in the ground.
The book we've been reading says it's obvious why it's called 12 Heads.
But we can't work it out.
Not obvious to us, so...
Are we stupid?
Probably.
Perhaps when it was named it was obvious.
Yeah.
There you go, you didn't believe me, did you? Wheel Andrew Count House.
I'm home.
Hooray, doggies off the lead. They're much happier off the lead. Up on the horizon there, that grey building is the remains of one of the last tin mines to close in Cornwall. It's Wheel Jane. Now that's a nice contrast, isn't it? The new mine and the old one. And Andrew tumbling over.
Fell over him.
Where on earth did you come from?
So here we have an open shaft with big danger signs on. You can actually hear water running at the bottom of that. It looks a lot more modern, this one. Very well fenced off, so you certainly can't fall down that one.
Loads of spider webs. All covered in misty rain. Getting a bit damp, aren't we, boy? Go on then, walk on. One huge slag pile. Right at the top, there's a remnant of an engine house. Now we're heading down towards Bizzo. Beautiful wooded valley. You can hire a bike from there and ride all the way to Portreath. You can see the edges of the banks are so red. That's from the old tin waste. It used to run red when we were children. The advice is that it's still contaminated, so don't allow your dogs, even though it's very tempting, don't allow them to drink too much. And it is deeper than it looks, very strong current, so best not to let them in there really. Point Mills Arsenic Refinery. So this is all that remains after 100 years, ending with the outbreak of World War II. The arsenic refined was famed for its high quality throughout Europe and beyond.
Release the hound.
Come on then! Bizzo Bridge. You can hear the rush of the water. And there's the little bridge. So we're going to follow this river to the sea. Danger, keep out, boggy ground. So all the way down through the valley we're following the river towards the sea. The path is superb. Just a bit mindful we don't want the doggies going in the water.
First glimpse of the viaduct. It's still in use today, isn't it? It takes the trains from Truro to Falmouth.
Truro Falmouth branch line. What's the story behind the viaduct then? Why have we got two pillars?
I think they didn't have enough money to start with to build the first one properly, so they basically built granite supports up and then they used timbers at the top. And Brunel said at the time it would have a lifespan of about 70 to 80 years, and he was proved right. And this one says, building the second Carnan viaduct in the early 1930s. The original Brunel viaduct was still in use at this time.
The old ones look like big dominoes, just want to push them over, don't you? Right, scrubland. That looks like just heather, so I wonder how contaminated that is then. We've just been through so many trees, it's been so beautiful, and to open up into this is quite a contrast.
In the distance, that's the church spire of Devoran.
Oh yes, so we've still got to get to Devoran to finish the walk.
Yes.
The 11 and a bit miles finishes at a gate just down here, doesn't it?
Right, well we need to go right to the end.
Okay, another mile?
And a bit.
Oh, do you hear that, boys? We're still going. Old Carnan Bridge. Oh yeah, that's over there, so that must be going over the Carnan River. We're going down there. Andrew's thinking of his stomach there. Getting hungry. Delicious food awaits at the Old Quay Inn. Just 1 mile.
1 mile, I can do that for some food.
It's back in a beautiful little wooded section. The river is right beside us, although you can't see it. Isn't it gorgeous? And here we join the road to make it all the way down to Devoran.
Nearly there, 1/4 mile. Glorious sunshine now.
We're coming into the village of Devoran. So you might have noticed a real lack of platforms and bridges and stuff like that that you normally see and associate with the railway line. The only thing that's left in evidence is Devoran Village Hall. That was the station yard. Okay, so this building was the former workshop of the 4-foot gauge minimal railway, the first true railway in Cornwall. So why was this the first true railway?
This was the first railway operating with a proper railway locomotive.
A steam one?
Steam one, yeah.
Just waiting to see if the little house sparrow will go in the hole. He's just sat there on the gutter there. Some beautiful old properties here on the left hand side. All individual. I wonder if they all have purposes to do with the quay. Quay Villa might be a clue.
Sarah?
Yes.
Look, this is important. It says in 1832 on this spot, nothing happened.
That's very impressive, Andrew.
History.
Yes. Let's go forth and find some history. And here we have Quay House. Oh, looks like the road is petering out.
This is footpath to Devoran Quay.
We're here!
Yay!
We made it! This is Devoran Quay!
The end of our walk.
So that sign said the Old Quay Inn.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. Quay Road, Quay House, lots of places with quay.
That's up there. Up here.
He sniffed it out, he has.
We did it. Yay! It's our reward.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we did it, 4 videos documenting our coast to coast trail.
11 miles.
Excellent, loved
Epic.
it. And the path was easy because it's also a cycle route, no stiles. I really enjoyed it.
It's been fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
Walk of contrast and rugged north coast with a little harbour, beautiful. Beautiful countryside, rolling green countryside, woodland, and then the Poldice Valley.
Oh, you could be on an alien landscape.
Lunar.
Yeah, it doesn't look as if it belongs on this planet.
Score?
It's got to be a 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10, you've got to do it.
Thoroughly recommend it.